Panspermia is the idea of an exchange of living organisms across the universe. According to this theory, life on Earth came from elsewhere. In a way, this makes all of us aliens. Coming up in a moment. Space. Endless black vacuum, void of everything except some inorganic objects here and there, aside of course from the third planet of a young star system, far from the center of its middle-sized home galaxy that is likely soon to be eaten up by its nearest neighbor, the Andromeda. The only place to have life. Doesn't seem very convincing, does it? It is believed that the chemistry of life began shortly after the Big Bang, when the universe was only about 15 million years old. The same microscopic life was then distributed by meteoroids and asteroids throughout the universe. The usual theory that life formed on Earth about 3.7 billion years ago as a result of a series of coincidences is said to be quite improbable. Much more likely is the idea that long before the solar system was even formed, when the whole universe was a condensed soup, life appeared, flourished, and filled much older worlds. From there it later arrived on Earth. The word panspermia comes from ancient Greek and means all seed. It stands for the presumption that life everywhere in the universe has one origin, one seed that traveled using various means to every part of space. Asteroids, comets, or just space dust may have unintentionally carried microscopic life between planets until it had the opportunity to colonize yet another pristine world. For some organisms, spending thousands of years in a special state while covering hundreds of light years is entirely possible. The main threat would be the extreme radiation of open space. But indolites can exist deep inside a rock, protected. The process of microscopic life forms using rocks as spaceships on their journey across the universe is called lithopanspermia. With lithopanspermia, microorganisms have three stages that they must all survive during their voyage from one habitat to another. First, their ejection from a planetary surface. This involves extreme forces of acceleration. Then there is the transit that could take extremely long periods of time. And the last ordeal is the atmospheric entry upon arrival, producing rapid temperature change and high temperatures. Leaving it all to a game of chance, in the extremely hard conditions, only very primitive microorganisms could ever make it. Some more brilliant minds have come up with a more specific hypothesis of how the process could have been orchestrated. Thomas Gold suggested in the 1960s that life on Earth could originate from extraterrestrial beings long ago visiting this planet. They may have just piled some waste products here, everything necessary to produce the abundant life we see now. And then there is directed panspermia. First to propose this was Francis Crick, a Nobel Prize winner and one of the discoverers of DNA. After coming to the conclusion that DNA could not have evolved on Earth, he proposed the idea that an advanced extraterrestrial civilization may have purposely spread life across the galaxy, or at least brought it here anyway. The planets that were as old as Earth is now when the solar system wasn't even formed yet must have had life eons ago. That life also intelligent, could have easily at some point come to the idea of distributing itself to other systems. Some civilizations might have had much more advanced technology than Earthers have now that put places hundreds of light years away at their fingertips. They used wormhole technology to have instant travel to far-off parts of their galaxy and even beyond. Or maybe not. But even with primitive technology, they could have launched perfectly sealed containers with microbes to journeys that would take thousands of years, making sure that these vehicles eventually arrive at the destination where some automatic device would trigger their descent to the most suitable planet of the target star system. And that would be enough to ensure success. A highly advanced civilization might also not stop there. In time they will get better technology and then go to check like a gardener, curious about what's happening. After all, they could see the brand new ecosystem as their own creation, much like gardeners on Earth do when walking through the orchards or rose gardens they once planted. And if they don't exactly like the evolutionary curve that is taking place, they might alter it toward a more desirable outcome. Perhaps. Who knows? All of this doesn't define how life came into being. Evolutionism or creationism are both equally possible. While giving an answer to how Earth got life, panspermia lets the question of how it was originally created remain totally open. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to be notified of the next video here, please subscribe and hit the bell as well. Bye.